Who am I? Today I have a very short setup before our meditation. I want to dig into who we think we are and who we think we need to be loved, to feel safe, comfortable. What is our role here as a human being? What requirements are we putting on ourselves to act and behave in a certain way instead of allowing our grand becoming? We all have a seed in our DNA helix, our divine blueprint, if you like, that every living being has. Hummingbirds have it, whales, wildflowers, fruits, they all have their own blueprint that makes them so. So today I want to look at the constructs we have put on ourselves from our parents, culture, society, and a whole pile of other stuff that we do to ourselves. And constructs are kind of like scaffolding. In order to build the structure, we need it. We need the support. And as children, some of us didn't get great support, but we did get support. And now the structure is built. We are adults. We still grew up. And now we have to remove the scaffolding in order to stand tall. My one-to-one sessions are filled with people who don't know who they are. They're still trying to feel safe, to be loved. I have met many who are skinny, living in a fat body because of the support system they had. I know many who are super creative working in corporate. So let's see if we can get some more insight into that blueprint you have. And let's look at the support system before we go into the meditation. So this is your divine blueprint, and this is your scaffolding coming in all different directions. So you might have family, you might have your social networking, you'll have friends, you'll have co-workers, but there's other stuff in there as well. There's stuff like emotions that are literally running you. So, it could be plain Jane anxiety, but it could be a whole pile of other stuff as well, because we tend to bang all emotions under the one umbrella and call them, like overwhelm or anxiety or something like that. But, they usually are a lot more complex than that. But we'll just write emotions. You've also other things in there like roles. So what is your identity? What is your role? Are you a banker? Are you a teacher? There's a whole construct set up around that this is what a teacher looks like. This is what a nurse looks like. So your identity here. Identity also means, are you a mother, a daughter, a son, sister, brother? What is that identity that you have put on yourself? We also have people in these frameworks. So other than family and friends, but we can have individual people. Like if it's in a relationship, you can have a husband or a wife or a sick child. So there'll be specific people, specific relationships in here as well. I'm just going to write relationships. Now, I know my writing isn't great here when I do this on the board, but the reason why I do it is because our conscious mind starts to gather the information. I work with the subconscious mind when I go into the meditation. So my little drawings aren't very clear often, but it doesn't really matter. The reason why I do this on the board is because our conscious mind needs to grasp on to something to identify with what does our support system look like. Who are all the things and what are all the things that are in there. You could have promises, vows, or contracts in here as well. So contracts and vows can be simple, like I married someone or I made a contract with this corporation to work for X number of years. They can also be more complex as well. They can be little promises that were in there when you were pre-verbal that you made to your parents. But we're just going to write them in here and just realize that they're all part of the structure. We don't have to understand them. We don't have to know exactly how they affect. We just need to know that it's part of the mix. We also have lessons in here as well. So lessons are things that we came here to learn. So we have this blueprint, yes, which is amazing. But we came here to learn lessons, and some of the lessons we mightn't have learned yet in order to be able to access this blueprint. So there's just like a few bits, and we'll dig into it a little bit more as we do the meditation. Always choose one thing to work on. Your body, your career, your relationship, just one thing. You can come back and repeat this meditation on other things. So I'm just going to lower the camera and we're going to settle in, do a little bit of breathing and just see what our frameworks are. Okay, so we're settled in. Just get comfy in your seat. See if you can feel the soles of your feet on the floor is good. Bum in the chair. Really just feeling into your body. And just allow the breath to calm. And just allow yourself to come back into your body. Fill your tummy. Fill your heart. And just let the breath flow out again. In through the nose, fill the tummy. Into the heart. And all the way out. Don't have to count. You can consciously leave your out breath be slightly longer than your in breath. Always fill in the tummy first, then the heart, all the way out. So you've picked that one thing that you want to work on. You know, but it's not, we're not going to bring it hugely in. Just, it's like an intention. Because really what we want to do today is just see, as part of that intention, what is in our blueprint. So allow yourself to calm and settle. Out breath longer than the in breath. Into the heart and out. And become conscious of your belly filling, and then the breath filling on up into the heart. And it can take a little while for some people to get into their body. But your meditation is really just going to end up your mind is working overtime and thinking and trying to fix and consciously choose and pick and do all that stuff that it does anyway, if you don't allow yourself to completely drop into your body. So just allow yourself the few minutes to settle. In through the nose, out through the nose or mouth. Filling the tummy into the heart all the way out. And I just want you to bring to mind the structure of the scaffolding behind us. So it's like we're standing in the center. And all that that is around us. Some of it is quite close, almost like a walking stick. And some of it is a bit further away. But it's all the structures we have put in place. And just gather in all of the things, the actual physical structures that are in and around you. Your house where you live, your job or lack of job, where you get your money from. And push it out a little bit more to include your friends, the people that agree with you. Not always considered, but it is part of your support system. And then just include the people that don't agree with you. I love this one because we don't see them as part of our support system, but some of them are there to learn lessons. Some of them are there to teach us lessons. But they're in our life. So they are part of our support system. So by support, I don't necessarily mean that you'd call them in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning if you really needed somebody. I just mean they're there. Like we looked at the scaffolding, they're around us. They're part of our life. They're part of our day-to-day, week-to-week experience. In through the heart, all the way out. Continue the breathing. Now I want you to look at the people that really do hold you up. And I want you to look at who holds them up. Some stand alone. Some have their own structures. Some depend on you as well. And just look at them with you. Look and see how close they're standing to you. Are you like bent over each other? Are you completely codependent? Are you individual but support each other in a good way? And look and see how you have to be with them. Do you have to look a certain way, say certain things, be a certain way? What are the requirements, if you like, to be part of this support system? Now, I want you to include your parents here as well. And it doesn't matter if they're still on this planet or if they're long since gone. I want you to look at them and bring them in. You know, some parents just were there to bring us onto this planet. And that was their job done. And just acknowledge that. It's not good, bad, right, wrong. But some were amazing support. They walked with you. They encouraged you. Some got too involved and tried to control you. All you're doing at the minute is just observing. That's all we're doing, is just gathering information. We're not getting caught up in it. We haven't even started to look at the emotion. So just notice. And notice how you think of what they did. Notice what you thought, if they did a good job, if they did a bad job. And if there was a few different people there, if it was like an older brother, sister, whoever was your main caregiver, or if you had like a whole bunch of them, just notice them all collectively, not individually now. Yeah, so just leave your awareness kind of like span out, if you like, a little bit. We're not getting too caught up in it. We're just gathering the data for now. And we're not putting meaning on it. It's the whole meaning that has kind of messed us up, if you like, and has hidden our blueprint. It has completely buried it. So we're just noticing, that's all. And you can keep it relative to what your intention was if you want. Or you can just notice. You can just be on like a fact-finding mission. And who did we have to be part of this structure? Now, the more people we bring in, the bigger the structure will get. And I just want you to allow it to get bigger. Just allow it to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And just allow anyone else that's kind of like in the shadows, if you like, to step in. Anyone that has been part of our structure. Now, if you allow yourself just to stay in the meditation, breathing in through the heart, out through the heart. Yes, fill in the belly first, but straight in through the heart, out through the heart. And allow your mind to wander and just collect all this information. It will kind of energetically kind of know if there's somebody that needs to step in. And you might know who that person is, like it could be a teacher, or they could be somebody that was just in your life for a short time. Or you may not. It doesn't matter. You don't have to know specifically. What keeps people stuck is having to get in, in a controlling way and figure everything out and work everything out and make sense of it all. So we're definitely not doing that. We're just allowing our awareness just to expand and gather the information. That's all we're doing. So you don't have to know a specific person or see them, or it doesn't really make any difference. So keep breathing, filling the belly into the heart. Now just notice, like it's like an extra bit of data that somebody throws in the mix. All of the information, all of the things that you were told. And some of these can be really kind of strong, and they can almost look like pillars of scaffolding, things that you stand by, rules that we abide by, things that people said. And they can be kind of interlinked here as well, because it could be, you know, a rule that was made to never be broken. It could be a vow, it could be a contract, it could be a promise. So the more people work with me, the more people get the gist of how the information can be quite fuzzy, it can be quite foggy, but we're just gathering it all, because in order to move it up and out, we need to gather it first. So just allow it to be there. Just allow it to come into your field. It's like you're bringing it into your awareness. And with the things that we were told, I want you to bring in, or just bring to light sometimes, because often these are quite close to us. They're much closer in our field. So they can be in our body or around us, and they're the things we told ourselves. And again, they can be like promises we made to ourselves, or they could be just plain constant criticism, or a constant, yeah, there's a lot there, okay. So just allow it to be there. Again, just you're noticing it. That's all you're doing. It's like as if it were, you know, like a Christmas tree, and you're just like lighting up each individual light. It's in your field. It's there already. We're not bringing in anything new. It's there. It's what has created you. It is what has formed you. It is what has shaped you. It's the information, if you like, that has gotten you to here. So just allow it to be there, and it can move or float. It can be any way you want, just breathing in through the heart and all the way out. Okay. So we want to go a little bit deeper here. So this is like all of the things consciously that we've brought in. And it can look like it's like a whole ton of holy shit stuff. And that's fine. But we want to bring in a little bit of emotion, because the emotion is something that has kept it standing, if you like. It has kept it steady because it keeps it on a track. And we all want to raise our frequency. But in order to do that, we have to identify, or we have to notice what we have identified with in our field that keeps us stuck to this structure, like the scaffolding we looked at, that keeps us in this steady, if you like, unchanged. So when you're ready, just bring in a little bit of the feeling. All of the feelings that are there. Now we want to bring them in a way that's kind of, it's like we're looking at it. It's in and around us. It's part of us. But We want to not get caught up in the emotion of it here. That's really, really important. We want to just kind of like, wow, look at that. Because we live what we feel. That's what holds us in this vibration. That's what kind of creates our next day and our next day and our next week and our next month, etc. And it's what has gotten us to here. So I want you just to kind of like notice it again. So you can bring it in like, you know, kind of pillars of scaffolding, if you like. They're emotions that are kind of like really strong, that has kind of, you know, that are steady, that are running the show, if you like. But I don't want you to feel into it just yet. Yes, we need to feel it, clear it, but for the moment, we just want to notice it. So just start bringing them in. So if it's like we spoke about earlier, like an umbrella emotional, it's like anxiety, overwhelm, something like that. Just bring it in like that. It doesn't matter how you bring it in. Just like bring it in. This is like, this kind of runs me. Or I'm, you know, I feel so guilty when I don't do this. You know, I feel annoyed over, some people are annoyed over everything. I mean, I feel angry that things aren't going my way. I feel frustrated. So just bring them in, but we don't want to feel them too strong now. Yes, they're in your field. They're part of you. You feel them every day. But we're just bringing them in a little bit more calculated now, just to kind of see what's there. And if you want to look at the intention that you looked at earlier, you know, you can just kind of bring that to mind if you like. If it's, you know, your whatever you chose, it doesn't really matter. You can bring the main emotion that's linked to that in. And the rest we can just kind of leave in the field. And you can come back and replay this video and work on different things each time you get here. You know, this is for you to use whatever way you want to use it. But it is easier. Obviously, when I'm working on one-to-one, I can do a lot of stuff very quickly. But in a video like this, for a lot of people, for yourself, you kind of have to, you know, decide, okay, maybe this is kind of important for me to look at the moment. And, you know, if this one thing was different, I would be able to move forward a bit better. I would feel a bit happier. Because all you need to do is just feel like a little bit happier and a little bit happier and a little bit happier. And then your life changes as you go. So just pick that one thing and bring in that main emotion that kind of runs the show. And bring in the other structures as well. So it's like all of the things attached to this identity. This person that is, you know, working 24/7. This person that is, you know, so many stone overweight. This person that is living this relationship. Whatever your story is, just notice the main emotion that's running the show. And bring in the emotion, like as in you could see it in front of you, like one of those pillars of scaffolding. It's like holding up this story, this main emotion. And bring in all the other people then around it that are helping to hold it up. But don't leave your awareness come in too tight. We want to leave it kind of loose and, like open, because, then it's more movable. Energy is way more movable when you kind of, leave it out, leave it kind of, move and just be there. And notice then our role in that story. What is our role in that story? In through the heart and out. Of course, you're breathing in through the heart the whole way through this meditation. I do a lot of breath work in the way I work, but it's different when I'm trying to talk you through this here. So it's hard for me to keep the breath going, but I want you to keep it going in through the heart and out. So what is your role in this story? See yourself in the role of the victim, of the survivor, of the overwhelmed, of the underwhelmed, of the exhausted, of the what is the story. Just see yourself in your role. And when you get to see yourself in that role, I want you to see what is holding that up. What is the scaffolding holding that role up? What have you told yourself? What do you repeatedly tell yourself? Who else is there holding up that story? I laugh when I do these group meditations because I try and pick something to go on, and then when I bring it in, different stuff shows up in the field, so I end up doing something completely different, but it's always fun to me. What is holding that up? So again, we're just gathering information, but I want you to bring it in a little bit closer into your body now. And just see if there's somewhere close to your body or in your body or really, very close around. It could be like your skin, or it could be inside in your body. It could be your heart. That's kind of like a little bit triggered, if you like. It's kind of starting to talk to you. Yeah, there'll be a spot. It might be in the heart. It could be in the head. It could be anywhere. It could be your big toe. And just notice that part of your body that's talking to you there. And I want you to go right into that part of your body. Right in, like as in you go into the organ, into the cells, into the smaller cells, into the smaller. Keep going smaller. Right in. And if you keep going, you'll eventually come to kind of like it's almost like a tunnel. It'll start to open up for you, and you can just keep going and going, almost to like infinity and beyond. And just allow yourself to go there. And if you're still caught out somewhere in all of the data and you're, struggling with all of that, just keep breathing and just make this part up. So keep going right in, and then eventually you will come to space. And when you get to the space, I want you to ask yourself, is this part of my blueprint? Is this part of my blueprint? Or is this a lesson? And if it's a lesson, what is the lesson? In through the heart. Now I want you to continue on and just go a little bit farther into the space. And for some people, if you like keep going and going and going and going, go for most people. But like for some people, if you're caught in the trauma and the drama and all of that story that you're like, oh, what happens to all of that stuff? You know, it'll pull you out of it. But if you can keep going and going and going, it'll start to open up and open out into space. And just keep going and going and going and going and going. And here you can ask yourself, what is your original blueprint? Now, for some people, you'll be caught in kind of like still the emotion and the vibration and all the story. So if that's the case, just allow the body just to calm and settle, and just allow a little sliver of it to be released right now. You can just give yourself permission just to release a little bit of the anger, the shame. And it'll kind of be like you split your awareness. So it's like, yeah, you're still breathing in through the heart and out, and you're still flying through this space of infinity and beyond. But you're just moving. You're just being. You're not looking or searching. That in itself is a story. So it's like the body can release some of that emotion that is attached to that story. And at the same time, you're looking, well, not looking, you're just experience this infinity. And the longer you can spend at this place, the better. Because it's like Everything else has disappeared, and you get to just experience that blueprint, if you like. And if you keep going and going and going and going, you can go back hundreds and thousands of years. Till you were nothing but still something. And here, if you can remain unattached to any answers right now, you can just gather some information here. The same way as we did at the beginning, gathering information in our field, we just gather the information here. And move closer into it, like what is the feeling of it? Still breathing into the heart. And you'll get a sense or a feeling of it, kind of like bright, or because it's light, right? So it'll almost always feel bright, but it'll feel free and fun and like love and joy. So just allow yourself to get a sense of that. Just feeling into it. A few more breaths here just to lock it in. Fun and joy, love. Yeah, so it's like you're collecting the data from there. Yeah. Still remaining unattached to what it looks like. Just bringing in the feeling. Bringing all of the way back. And you can come all of the way back, like back through that space, back into your body. And come all the way up into your heart. Breathing into the heart and out. And just breathe into that space, like allow your body to recognize it. Like this is actually me. It's like a remembering. It's like a recognition. Like this is the true me. This is the real me. This is. So it's kind of like a welcoming. So allow it to settle into your heart. And just make your energy big again. All the way out. Back out to include all of those people and all of the scaffolding and all of the stuff. Your home, your environment, your friends, your social networking. The people that you thought were friends and all the people that had an input into this you that is now. And just before we finish up, I want you to just knock out some of those pillars. If you feel like, something, I don't really need that in my life now. I don't I don't love that, it doesn't bring me joy, or, I can't support that person in the way they need to be supported right now. And just notice the emotions you're addicted to before we go. You just get to feel it. Because it has served a purpose, right? But if it's within your ability to do now, if you're allowed, if you can allow yourself to feel it for the last time, you can do that. And just release it. It can be any emotion that has kept you stuck. Because if it's something that you're repeatedly feeling over and over and over and over again, it will keep you stuck. So allow yourself to release as much of it as you possibly can. I mean, this is one meditation, right? And maybe we can release one or two of the things we told ourselves. In order for that blueprint to thrive. Last few breaths. And just allow the breath to calm. And steady still in through the heart, out through the heart. And just bring your hands up to your heart. And just leave everything else be there or fall away. It's your choice. And come on back into that blueprint. Into the center of your heart, and just allow it to expand. Allow it to expand all the way out to the sides of your heart. To the sides of your torso. To the size of your whole body. Right out to the edge of your skin, to the tip of your toes. And just a little bit beyond. And just set the intention to see more of this. To feel more of this. To recognize more of this. And just before we finish, a little like a warning, if you like. Sometimes after these meditations, we could go quite deep. And stuff can pop up in your awareness in the days coming afterwards. And it's really something that needs your attention. It's always something that you've been replaying or have been repatterning over and over again. So just before you finish up, just acknowledge that if it's coming up, it's coming up for a reason. Not to be repatterned, to learn the lesson, or feel the feeling, or take action maybe. My name is Celia O'Grady. I'm an energy healer, breathwork, meditation, yoga facilitator and trainer. I love to work with energy and go deep. Subscribe to my channel. It's a new channel, so we can have lots more fun together. Last few breaths. Two more. One more. Have an amazing day. Much love to you.